business owner after his cameras capture a man deliberately slapping a tray with more than a half dozen plates full of food out of the hand of one of his servers. Watch as this man is exiting through a glass door, and just as that server walks by, he hits the edge of the tray, causing the food to crash to the floor. As that server is left with a look of confusion, that man just casually walks away.
What's up, folks? Welcome to Black America. Welcome to another video discussing black people and black crime and black issues. It's kind of a problem at this point. I mean, even black people at this point, you gotta admit, there's a problem. We got some problems, boys. We've got some, it's not good in the hood. Okay? And this, by the way, is the least egregious video you can find out there on the topic. But because we are on YouTube, we have to go with the vanilla stories, all right? So this is just a nice little example of what they are up to in that community. Total disrespect for white people, total disrespect for society. They don't really seem to understand like how society works. They don't seem to understand how you be a good member of society. And they definitely don't understand good manners. Let's take a look at this full video and just, you know, do I even need to say it? Do I even need to say it, folks? I really don't think I do. It's enough said, as they say.
Business owner after his cameras capture a man deliberately slapping a tray with more than a half dozen plates full of food out of the hand of one of his servers. Watch as this man is exiting through a glass door, and just as that server walks by, he hits the edge of the tray, causing the food...
Like, there's literally no point to this. I just don't... why? Like, why? You know? And this is the random acts of violence and assault and stuff that goes on in this particular community that I just don't get it. You know, like, I understand a bank robbery, you know? I honestly even understand a carjacking. There's a point to that. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying it's good. It's terrible in this community. Well, not the bank robbery. That actually takes brains. But the carjacking, they disproportionately are involved in that particular sort of theft. But at least I can understand that, you know, because it's like you want a car because you're gonna sell the car, or you'll sell it off in parts or whatever. This kind of stuff, this is what this sort of violence is what I don't understand. It's like, what's the point? You just felt like being an asshole that day and you just wanted to do that. The same as these like random assaults on like an old person. There'll be just like an old person standing there letting their dog pee, and some black person will just come and knock them over the head. You know, like there's no point to this. And I can only wonder, I'm like, is there something deeper to this? Like, is it a built up resentment to white people? Is that what's going on? Or is this more of just like a genetic issue? Possibly, you know, maybe they just can't help themselves. Maybe that's just low impulse control. It's just what they do. Who knows? What would I know? I'm just observing from afar, by the way.
To crash to the floor. As that server is left with a look of confusion, that man just casually walks away.
Knocked over the tray full of food, which, you know, was unfortunate. It was Mother's Day. We had to make that food again. We had to clean the floors.
Luis Garcia, owner of Garcia Seafood Grill and Fish
By the
Market
way,
on the...
I know we're still in the age of cancel culture. People talk about that cancel culture is dead. It is maybe in the process of dying, but it's certainly not dead. But I would like to live in a culture where there is no cancel culture and that guy would be slinging racial slurs and talking about the problem with certain demographics in certain communities. That's what I would prefer him saying. Not just like, I don't know why he's acting like this. What? Let's not leave out the elephant in the room, okay? I'm not saying he's doing wrong. I feel bad for the guy. This is what business owners have to deal with now, and they can't say anything because their life will be ruined.
Miami River told me, while the video is shocking to watch, it's his general manager, he said, was first confronted by the man who walked right past a line of families with Mother's Day reservations.
He literally walks up to one of our staff and kind of puts his chest in his, you know, which was uncalled for.
Video from the restaurant patio.
So it doesn't end there, folks. The bad behavior predated the initial attack. So he's sitting here busting in line, again, with this community. What is it about you and lines? Why do you not understand how lines work? Have you ever been on a flight before? Because it is always the African Americans, people of color, that are busting in line. I'm sorry, it's true. If you don't want me to observe that and make a generalization about you and your people, then I suggest you start abiding by the lines. It's really not a hard concept to get. It's really not. It's really easy. It's very simple. Actually, it takes more effort sometimes to bust in line than rather to just stand there and wait patiently for your turn. But no, he busts past all the rest of these families because I guess we owe him? Maybe?
Video shows what Garcia said is that man demanding to be seated. And as his general manager begins calling the police, he's followed as he tries to avoid a confrontation after repeatedly asking the man to leave.
When he was approached, he got aggressive.
While days have passed,
Wow, what a shocker. Low impulse control. When we approached him and told him to not do something, he immediately got angry. Kind of reminds me of the Carmelo Anthony incident too, and many others.
since the disturbance for Garcia's diners, it's his worry this person may have been mentally struggling with something more.
They're mentally struggling with the fact that they're black, okay? And I'm starting to think, like, can these people even help themselves?
We don't know what this gentleman was going through.
That said, it's the irrational.
He's not going through anything, okay? And see, here we go, white people. Well, maybe he did assault one of my staff and he was rude to the guest and made them feel uncomfortable in the establishment and brought a negative light to the entire restaurant. But, maybe he was going through something. It's like, can white people give up with the cuckoldry, please? We've been cucked long enough. We're standing by and making every excuse under the book. No, the guy's just a dick. The guy's just a jerk. The guy's just black. Okay, and he's acting very normally for a black person, actually. In fact, you got one of the better versions of black person. You're lucky he didn't get a knife pulled on you. So I guess in that case, we should be grateful. He should be grateful he's alive.
And unpredictable actions that are concerning for the public. For that reason, police want to find him.
This type of behavior warrants that we find this person.
Okay. Well, I certainly hope they find him. Not that anything will be done about it because, we live in a two-tier legal justice system.